Have you ever wondered just how risky travel can get once you hit your 80s, even if you've been globetrotting for decades? As we enter our 80s, our bodies and minds start reacting differently to unfamiliar spots in ways that catch us off guard. Sure, travel paints pictures of exotic spots, свежие приключения, but the truth hits harder when you're past 80. Those physical and emotional hazards can eclipse the fun pretty fast. This isn't meant to squash your spirit for exploration, far from it. It's about spotting those sneaky pitfalls that tag along with journeys at this life stage. Once you see them clearly, you can pick paths that keep you secure, vibrant, and serene. In today's video, we're unpacking 5 key reasons why hitting the road after 80 might not be the smartest move. These draw from everyday stories that plenty of folks in their later years encounter, but don't often share, and they could shift your view on that upcoming getaway. Stick around to the finish, because the final reason could jolt you the most and prompt a total rethink of your itinerary. Alright, let's jump in. First up, traveling after 80 can feel like rolling the dice with your health, and the stakes are high when emergencies strike far from home. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving. A minor ache can spiral into a crisis, needing immediate attention. At home, you've got your go-to clinic or hospital just a call away, with staff who know your history. But on the road, that safety net vanishes. Many destinations, especially off-the-beaten-path spots, lack the medical setups older adults need. Language barriers or unfamiliar healthcare systems can turn a quick fix into a drawn-out ordeal, where delays could mean the difference between a scare and a life-altering problem. Imagine you're strolling through a charming mountain village in Colorado, soaking in the crisp air, when a sudden wave of dizziness hits. Maybe it's chest tightness or a racing heart. Back in your hometown, you'd be in an ambulance in minutes, with doctors who know your chart inside out, abroad, or even in a remote US. At spot, you're stuck hunting for a clinic, trying to explain angina or arrhythmia to someone who might not speak your language, hoping they've got the right equipment. Even something as simple as dehydration from a sunny day hiking can lead to fainting or confusion, and without prompt care, recovery drags on, sapping your strength. Take someone like Ellen, a spirited 82-year-old from Chicago who loved her annual trips to national parks. On a visit to a remote canyon, she felt short of breath. At home, her cardiologist would have adjusted her meds on the spot. Out there, it took hours to find a clinic, and the staff struggled to understand her condition. The scare left her rattled, and the trip she'd dreamed of became a blur of worry. For many over 80, sticking to a routine like Ellen's daily blood pressure pills or insulin shots is what keeps them steady. Travel throws that off. Flight delays, jet lag, or a missed bus can mess with medication schedules, and skipping a dose or taking it late can trigger serious issues, from blood sugar spikes to heart palpitations. The reality is, when you travel, you surrender control over your environment. You can't guarantee an ambulance will show up fast, or that a local doctor will grasp the nuances of age-related conditions like osteoporosis or COPD. Even in places like Canada or Europe, where healthcare is top-notch, wait times can stretch, and specialized care might be a city away. If you're managing chronic conditions, say diabetes or heart disease, every minute counts. A 2019 study showed that older adults are 30% more likely to face complications from untreated emergencies when traveling compared to at home, simply due to delays in care. This isn't about living in fear or chaining yourself to your recliner. It's about recognizing that being far from your support network, your doctor who's tracked your health for years, your pharmacy with your refills, your neighbor who checks in amps up the risks. At home, you've got a system. Your GP knows that knee surgery from '98, your allergies, your quirks. On the road, you're often flying solo, and that can feel like a weight on your chest, figuratively and maybe literally. The peace of knowing help is nearby is something you don't miss until it's gone. Travel can still light up your life, but after 80, it's worth asking, is this destination worth the gamble with my health? Being upfront about your needs, checking if your travel spot has a hospital with geriatric care, packing extra meds, mapping out pharmacies isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's about protecting the vibrant, independent life you've built, so you can keep enjoying those morning coffees on your porch or game nights with the grandkids. The greatest adventure might just be staying healthy enough to savor the moments you already love. Second, as we hit our 80s, our bodies change in ways that make accidents, especially falls, a bigger deal. Even if we're still hitting the gym or walking the dog daily, balance wobbles, reflexes slow, and muscles aren't as sturdy as they once were. Traveling throws you into unfamiliar terrain, where hazards lurk like hidden traps. Think uneven sidewalks in quaint European towns, cobblestone paths in historic districts, or stairs without handrails at a bed and breakfast. One misstep, a slick surface, or a crowded shuttle can lead to a tumble that sidelines you for months, maybe longer. At home, you've got your environment dialed in. You know the crack in your driveway, the perfect shoes for your daily stroll, the handrail you grip on the porch steps. On a trip, it's a different story. You're navigating in real time, often distracted by new sights or schedules. Picture Clara, a lively 84-year-old from Toronto who loved city breaks. On a trip to Boston, she tripped on an uneven brick path in the Freedom Trail, spraining her ankle. What was meant to be a fun weekend turned into weeks of crutches and a dent in her confidence. Airports, with their shiny floors and rushing crowds, or bustling farmers markets, can throw you off balance. Carrying a suitcase while dodging pedestrians shifts your center of gravity, making a stumble more likely. Falls aren't just about the immediate ouch. A fractured wrist or hip often means surgery and grueling rehab, especially tough when you're far from your usual support crew, family, friends, or that physical therapist who knows your quirks. A 2020 health report noted that falls are the leading cause of injury for those over 80, with 1 in 4 leading to long-term mobility issues. The emotional hit is just as rough. After a fall, many seniors hesitate to venture out, fearing another spill. That can spiral into isolation, less activity, and a dip in overall fitness, stealing the independence you've worked hard to keep. Travel often tempts us to push past our limits. You might stand for hours to see a famous monument, trek miles on a guided tour, or haul shopping bags back to your hotel. These sound harmless, but they strain joints and zap energy, dulling your ability to dodge hazards. Fatigue creeps in faster now, and when it does, your reaction time takes a hit. Footwear's another sneaky factor. You pack your trusty sneakers, but a fancy dinner or cultural site might call for dressier shoes with less grip. Pair that with wet cobblestones or a wobbly dock, and the risk skyrockets. Then there's the environment itself. Not every destination is senior-friendly. Some places lack proper streetlights, have poorly maintained walkways, or feature steep inclines that test your stability. Picture trying to board a tour bus with high steps and no handrail, tricky even on a good day. At home, you've adapted. Grab bars in the bathroom, clear paths in the living room. On the road, you're at the mercy of the setup, and it's rarely tailored to you. This isn't about swearing off adventure or bubble wrapping yourself. It's about seeing the real risks travel brings and weighing them against your freedom to move confidently. Knowing the terrain, checking if your hotel has elevators, packing shoes with solid traction, or sticking to guided tours with senior-friendly routes can make a difference. Clara learned the hard way, but now plans trips with flat paths and rest stops. By understanding these dangers, you protect your ability to keep living life on your terms, whether that's dancing at your granddaughter's wedding or tending your garden. If you're finding these tips helpful, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and the bell. It keeps you looped in on more insights like this. Your support keeps us creating content to spark and inform. Let's keep going. Third, one of the quieter challenges of traveling after 80 is how your body handles sudden climate changes. Something younger folks might shrug off, but hits us harder. As we age, our ability to regulate temperature weakens, turning a simple weather shift into a physical challenge. Travel often means bouncing between extremes, freezing airport lounges to blazing city streets, or leaving a mild spring day in Vancouver for a snowy Montreal evening. These swings stress your heart, lungs, and energy reserves, sometimes in ways you don't see coming. Take George, a retired teacher from Seattle who loved warm weather getaways. On a trip to Miami, the humid heat left him dizzy and drained, something his younger self would have powered through. High temperatures can dehydrate you faster than you'd expect, leading to heat exhaustion or worse. Cold snaps aren't kinder, they stiffen joints, spike blood pressure, and raise the risk of chest infections. A 2021 study found that seniors over 80 are twice as likely to face health issues from extreme weather compared to those in their 60s, simply because our bodies don't adjust as quickly. Altitude's another curveball. Heading to a mountain town like Aspen means thinner air, forcing your heart and lungs to work overtime. A walk that felt refreshing at sea level can leave you gasping. Humidity plays dirty too in tropical spots like Florida or coastal Europe. Muggy air saps energy and makes breathing tougher, especially if you've got asthma or COPD. Dry climates, like deserts, can parch your skin and sinuses, sneaking in dehydration before you feel thirsty. After 80, your body's signals like thirst or fatigue aren't as loud, so problems can build quietly. Travel schedules make it worse. Jet lag, irregular sleep, or long bus rides mess with your ability to adapt. Landing in a place where the sun sets 4 hours off your usual rhythm throws your body clock into chaos. Even food and water differ. Local cuisine might not suit your diet, and tap water quality varies. These constant adjustments demand resilience that's harder to muster now. Clothing's a hassle too. Destinations with wild daily swings, chilly mornings, scorching afternoons, frosty nights require layers that are a pain to lug around. Misjudge your outfit, and you're either sweating buckets or shivering, both risky for your health. Weather's unpredictable, and you can't control it once you're there. You might aim for a mild season, but a surprise heat wave or cold snap doesn't care about your plans. Younger travelers might laugh it off, but for us, it's about comfort and safety. George now checks weather forecasts and picks destinations with steady climates, like San Diego over Miami. Knowing how your body reacts, maybe you overheat easily, or your arthritis flares in the cold, helps you plan smarter. It's not about ditching travel dreams, it's about guarding your energy, which is gold at this stage. Choosing spots with climates your body can handle means more days feeling good, whether you're exploring a new city or chilling in your backyard. Fourth, long flights, train treks, or bus journeys are tough at any age, but after 80, they hit your body and mind like a freight train. Sitting cramped for hours stiffens joints, swells legs, and can even spark dangerous blood clots like deep vein thrombosis. Getting up to stretch helps, but tight spaces and turbulence limit that. The fatigue lingers, sometimes for weeks. Take Margaret, an 83-year-old from New York who flew cross-country to see her grandkids. The 6-hour flight left her knees aching and legs puffy, turning her visit into a recovery slog. It's not just physical. Navigating airports, hauling bags, finding gates, rushing for connections demands focus that's harder to sustain now. Delays or layovers in strange terminals drain your patience and energy. A 2022 travel study showed seniors over 80 report 40% more fatigue from long journeys than those in their 70s, often impacting the whole trip. Mental strain adds up too. Keeping track of tickets, deciphering signs, or hearing muffled gate calls can overwhelm, especially if your vision or hearing isn't sharp. That stress can cloud your judgment, raising risks. Sleep gets wrecked too. Red-eye flights, time zone hops, or lumpy hotel beds kill the deep rest you need. Even one bad night weakens your immune system, making you less ready for travel's demands. Margaret skipped the night's sleep on her flight and spent days groggy, missing half the fun with her grandkids. Meals are another hurdle. Plain food rarely matches your dietary needs. Low sodium or diabetic-friendly options are hit or miss. Cabin air dries you out, and some avoid drinking water to skip tiny bathroom trips, but that risks dehydration, headaches, or worse. Crowds, noise, and constant announcements in busy hubs like Chicago's O'Hare or London's Heathrow can fry your nerves. Sensory overload hits harder when senses dull, leaving you mentally wiped before you reach your destination. By the time you arrive, the built-up exhaustion can dull the joy of the trip. Younger folks might shake off a rough travel day. For us, it lingers, stealing energy from the experiences you came for. The question isn't just, can I travel? But is the journey worth the toll? Short, direct trips with comfy seats or senior-friendly transport like Amtrak's roomier cars can make it work. Margaret now opts for shorter flights or trains to nearby cities, saving her energy for fun, not recovery. Planning for rest stops, hydration, and familiar foods helps too. It's about matching travel to your current needs, not pushing through like you're 50. That way, you're ready to enjoy the destination, not just survive the trip. If you're vibing with these insights, toss a 4 in the comments to show you're here. Not subscribed? Hit that button and the bell to stay in the know. Your support keeps us dropping content that informs and inspires. Let's roll on. 5th, traveling after 80 can hit your wallet harder than you expect, and the hidden costs can sneak up fast. Many in their 80s live on fixed incomes, pensions, savings, Social Security, and what used to be an affordable getaway now feels like a budget buster. Flights, hotels, and travel insurance have climbed, and senior-specific needs like accessible rooms or mobility aids jack up the tab. A 2023 report noted that travel costs for seniors can be 20–30% higher due to these extras. What looks like a deal on paper can balloon once you're on the ground. Medical emergencies are the big one. Even with insurance, you're often stuck with high deductibles or uncovered costs. Some countries demand cash before treatment, and sorting out reimbursements later is a headache. Picture David, a retiree from Florida, who had a minor stroke on a European cruise. His insurance covered part, but he shelled out thousands up front, plus flight changes that weren't cheap. Sudden health issues can also mean canceled plans or last-minute reroutes, with non-refundable bookings burning holes in your pocket. Then there's the sneaky stuff. Currency exchange fees, tourist trap prices, or tipping norms can stretch your funds thin. Airport meals or taxis in unfamiliar cities cost more than planned, especially if public transit isn't an option due to mobility or safety. Daily expenses, coffee here, a cab there, add up quick. Comfort matters more now too. Direct flights, extra legroom, or central hotels make travel easier but pricier. David learned to budget for these, choosing a closer resort with senior discounts to avoid the financial pinch. Spending big on a trip can also dent your long-term security. At 80 plus, you're not just planning for today, but for healthcare, home repairs, or daily needs down the line. A pricey vacation might feel great now, but could leave you scraping by later. It's not about cutting out fun. It's about balancing it with the peace of knowing you're covered for the future. Before booking, tally all costs, seen and unseen, against your priorities. Protecting your financial freedom lets you enjoy life, whether it's a local outing or a rare, well-planned trip. Let's take a moment to reflect on these 5 reasons we've explored. They touch on critical parts of life after 80: your health, safety, comfort, finances, and peace of mind. Together, they show that while travel is still possible, it comes with hurdles that deserve serious thought. This isn't about killing your wanderlust, but giving you a clearer lens to make choices that truly fit your life now. Which point hit home for you? The worry about far-off medical care? The risk of a fall? Or maybe the strain of unexpected costs? Pinpointing what matters most lets you shape your days around what keeps you safe, calm, and fulfilled. Travel can still bring joy, and plenty of folks in their 80s find ways to make it work. But there's power in realizing that adventure doesn't always need a passport. The connection, beauty, and excitement you might seek far away can often be found closer to home, surrounded by the familiar, your favorite cafe, a walk with friends, or a quiet evening with family. Choosing to stay put isn't missing out. It's safeguarding the independence and stability you've earned over decades. Thanks for watching today. Drop a comment below with one thing you learned and how you'll use it. Your thoughts mean the world to us and keep us motivated. If this video resonated, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire. Catch you in the next one.